It's a competition today between Primeape and Armarouge to see who gets the thumbnail. So Primeape is in UU and it can act similarly to Annihilate in OU. It gets Rage Fist, and Rage Fist, as we all know, is the broken move that makes Primeape and Annihilate good. Without Rage Fist, Primeape wouldn't even be in discussion for talking about it all. Even with the Eviolite, Primeape still isn't particularly bulky. You can see it only has 65, 60, 70. And so, really, Primeape shouldn't be living quite nearly as many hits as Annihilate does. But it does have a good speed stat at 95 and a decent attack stat. So as long as I heavily invest into my HP and SPDF, and then get enough bulk ups up, I might be able to live a few hits. And then once I can live a couple of hits, my Rage Fist should be good. And even if I don't get Rage Fist off, I of course have my bulk up Drain Punch. Because I don't want to deal with rest, I'm just going to assume that I live until I die, not run the rest Chesto set, right? Because then I can't run Eviolite. Defiant is pretty good as an ability, but I don't know how often we'll be able to use it. It is just there in case we need it. Anyway, we're going to try to see if Rage Fist Primeape is good. We're going to be Terra-type Water, not only because that's just generally what Annihilate is running, so I figured we should try the same thing, but also because Rain is really problematic, and so if something tries to beat me down with a Water-type move, like, for instance, Barraskewda, then if they're not predicting me to Terra, then I can hopefully live the hit and Drain Punch it all back. Next up, we've got Armarouge. Armarouge is an interesting set. I actually saw this one when I was looking at other games on the ladder today. And so I stole this from somebody else who probably stole it from somebody else. I don't know. This is Weakness Policy, Weak Armor, Armarouge with Endure. Endure is actually a crucial part of this. First of all, it lets you safely get off your Weakness Policy boost if you need to. But more importantly, there is a couple of first impression mons running around on the ladder, specifically and most importantly, you have Slitherwing, and Slitherwing is running first impression. A lot of them are choice banded, and you're going to just die. Straight up, you're just going to die. But if you have Weakness Policy and Endure, well, the Weakness Policy is not going to proc, but the Endure lets you live the first impression every single time it comes out. And it doesn't have any priority besides the first impression, so you can live it every single time. And then after that, you can retaliate with your double stab plus energy ball for the water types. Pretty cool set. The Endure also lets you hopefully get a speed boost to outspeed, maybe a Swift Swim Mon. Maybe you're already at +2 speed, now you get +4 speed. I don't know the calcs for that, but it's just an option that we might be able to play around with. Now, Rotom Wash is here again for Rain as well. We got Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, and Will-O-Wisp is here to cripple Pokemon, as you know Will-O-Wisp does. Finally, I'm not sure about this last move. Pain Split is not available for Rotom, and Defog isn't either, so it's like, what do you want to put in your last slot? I don't know if this would really help too much, but Dark Pulse, maybe? And then have a Terra type of Dark. That helps me deal with Pokemon like Gengar to a lesser extent, and then Espatra is really broken, and I think Espatra should go. Like, I don't know when bans start for UU, but could we get rid of Espatra already? That Pokemon is super annoying. So if Espatra already has +1 SPDF, then I don't know how much this would do. But at the very least, if they go for stored power into that slot, then I could get off Dark Pulse, and that might be the difference. Next up, we got Donphan. Donphan has Sturdy, which is super important. We're also running the Terra-type Dark for Espatra. This one I think is a little more reliable. I actually saw a little cup, Mudbray, that had a Dark Terra type put in work down there against Flittle. And that was really cool, so I'm sort of inspired by that to give this a knockoff with a Dark Terra type. But hopefully we don't have to use these Terra types. Primeape maybe, but the other three shouldn't need to Terrasilize to do their job. Donphan is our Stealth Rocker, but it's not going to be the Rapid Spinner, so it will be sort of slow. We're running Adamant max speed, so we will have some speed, but we will be a little bit slower than other Donphans, but we do have Ice Shard as a way to make up for that. Next up, we got Lucario. This is a Pokemon I do want to Terrasilize. We're going to run the Swords Dance Extreme Speed set. I think this is a really strong set because +2 and 100 ton attack, and it'll be stab on you. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Yeah, so just extreme speed. You don't need to run bullet punch or any other priority when you have extreme speed and its stab on you. Finally, we're gonna have Bramblegast. I want to try this Pokemon out, and I want to try it out against Drain specifically. So this is going to be our Rapid Spinner, and we've got Shadow Sneak, and we've got Spikes, so we can set up a couple of different kind of hazards. And then more importantly, I'm going to try out Wind Rider. This is something I want to test, because Wind Rider says, okay, I get immunity to Hurricane. So if Kilowattrel wants to come out, I resist both Thunder and Weather Ball, and I'm immune to Hurricane. I can Power Whip, or I can Shadow Sneak, or I can do whatever I want against Kilowattrel, which is really weak. And so I'm not sure how this is going to work against Drain. I'm guessing with its pretty lackluster defenses and HP stat, it'll still die to most hits. But I just want to try it out. Anyway, between Primeape and Armarouge, I just want to try them out, see who decides that they're going to put in more work today, and then whichever one I decide did more work is the one you've seen on the thumbnail. So let's find some battles. Okay, here we go. We've got a very interesting team from my opponent. I'm not sure what it's meant to do exactly, but it's got a lot of fun Pokemon on it. Some I definitely want to try out. Arboliva is here. I'm not sure if it gives grassy terrain for the Iron Thorns. Is that what they're going for there? Tatsugiri is decently threatening and probably is meant to act as the Rapid Spinner. And Iron Jugulus is a weird Pokemon. I have mixed feelings on that. Okay. I want to lead off with my... let's lead off with Donphan, I think. They lead off with the Jug. Okay. So it's not the greatest lead matchup for me, I think. I'm going to Stealth Rock here as they do Dark Pulse. That brings me down all the way to my Sturdy. So I'm just going to Ice Shard at this point. I don't know what that means. My Jugulus is decently strong, so maybe that is specs, but maybe not as well. At this point I can go Lucario. And if they want to stay in and go for another Dark Pulse, that'll give me a... Like, if I were justified, it would give me a +1. I'm not justified. Let's see, Heracross. Heracross, let's pretend it's Choice Scarf, just for sake of argument. Lucario, Aryu, Sword Stance, Life Orb, and we're going to become a normal type. Extreme Speed at +2 does kill. So if I did that calc right, then this should die. Yeah, it did. Good. Yeah, so this Lucario set is really busted, and that's sort of why I wanted to get up my hazards right away. Now, there's no way this is Choice Scarfed, I should think, so we can just kill that there. If they'd have been Ghost Terra, that would have been scary. And actually, that gives me an idea. Maybe we should run Ghost Terra on the Iron Thorns. They were Rocky Helmet, but that's not going to save you from me. Close Combat U as well, I think. Like, there's no way Arboliva is Ghost type on this, right? You'd be Rock, maybe for flying types, maybe a Grass type as well. I'm not really sure what you'd be, but probably not Ghost, if I had to guess. Ground type. Okay, well that's the same difference. And that actually gives me a Grassy Terrain recovery, so I'll take that. Yep, and that's the whole game right there. Alright, so Lucario, game 1 showing why it's a major threat in UU. And I think that if you get up at least one layer of hazards, and then you can force a switch like we did against Jugulus. And that's sort of what I was hoping when I stayed in with my Donphan. I just said get up hazards, and then I can get my sweep after that. Okay. This is going to be a little more of a problematic game. I think my opponent just loaded up a lot of really good Pokemon. Espatris here. Noivern is actually an interesting anti-rain tech. If you run Hurricane on it, it's pretty strong under rain, but you don't have to bring the rain yourself. And then this is the Slitherwing with the First Impression, plus Gengar. And then I've seen a lot of Quagsires as well. Okay. Now, as hazard removal goes, I think Noivern still gets defog, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Primeape's going to have a difficult time in this game, that's for sure. We do have Energy Ball on Armarouge, so we do have that going for us. So I just have to get hazard up so that I can break some Focus Ashes. And I knew that I was Focus Ash myself, so I decided to break Gengar's Sash. Okay. Gengar. Let's say that I don't know. Versus Donphan. Oh, your offensive spinner, Adamant. That is what we are. Ice Shard is 26%. So that's a low roll, but we might go for it. This is 26 to 31. So it's like right in the middle there. And if they go Noivern like they just did, then that's a fantastic outcome for me. Now I don't want to stay in and take a Surf or whatever they want to go for here. Because this is still quite useful for the Slitherwing, the Mabostiff, and to some extent this Patra. So I definitely want to save this. I think we go Rotom here. And then we go for the Hydro Pump. Like, you don't switch into Hydro Pump, really. And if they decide to defog here, then they'll lose their Noivern, and I can always get up Stealth Rock. And if they don't do that, then we go back into Donphan. And now I'm going to click Knock Off. In case they go back into Quagsire, right? As they do. That doesn't do very much, but we weren't expecting it to do a whole lot either. Okay. So it's good to know they have Toxic on their Quagsire. That really stops the Primeape from doing much of anything. Gonna go back into Rotom here. Gonna Hydro Pump again. How much did the Hydro Pump do last time? Oh, it was a crit last time and it did 33. So it's a very safe switch for them to go into it. But once again, we're in the same position where they can lose their Noivern to Volt Switch, or I can go into my Donphan. How much did Ice Shard do last time? 64%, so they will be in range of the Ice Shard if they decide to stay in. But they do go Quagsire, which is fair enough. But almost certainly heavy-duty boots, right? Okay, I'm just going to Volt Switch now. Because I don't know what the Quagsire could do other than Toxic Stall me, I suppose. I'd like to get some form of initiative if I can. But my opponent decides to stay in, which I guess is fine. The Toxic recovers Stealth Rock. Ooh. Cool play, bro. The Noivern is burned. They can defog now safely, but they just got up their Stealth Rock, so I don't expect they would want to do such a thing. Now, do we go into... I'm not sure what we go into. This Noivern is actually really annoying. Gonna click the Knock Off again, because I know Ice Shard won't kill from the range it's at. So we can just go into Quagsire. And that should be fine. Gonna go Rotom again. As they go back into their Noivern. Which I don't know what this is getting my opponent. But I guess it makes them feel better about themselves. Okay. I'm going to double back into my Rotom. I mean, I guess what they are doing is they're chipping down my Rotom, but I'm chipping down the Noivern. So it's a game of chicken. We're going to Hydro Pump here. in case they stay in with their Quagsire, which they may want to do. But even if they don't, their Noivern is getting really weak. And they are burned. So at this point, they can roost. And they don't actually roost. They go for Draco Meteor, so now they've lost their Noivern, which I will definitely take. I want to go Armarouge, I think. Because if I can get rid of the Donphan, or the Quagsire, sorry. If I can get rid of the Quagsire, then I'll be in a much better position. If they go into Slitherwing to go for first impression, then we can endure that. If they go into Mabostiff, I can endure that as well. This Patra will be the biggest problem. Actually, no, this would be the biggest problem right here. Alright, sack the Rotom. Sack the Rotom. Now we go Donphan. And I'm going to get up Stealth Rock. It's a bit of a risky play for sure, because I can always Ice Shard. But I haven't shown Stealth Rock till this point, so you may be under the impression that I don't have it on this set. At least that's my hope. Because Quagsire is such a free play for you. But that's fine. We got up Stealth Rock. We lived the hit. I wasn't bulky Donphan, right? I don't have any bulk on this, so I was a little bit concerned that maybe I wouldn't live it, but I do. And I do lose my Slitherwing answer. And out comes the Espatra. You wouldn't Dazzling Gleam here, right? There's no way you Dazzling Gleam. You'd always, like, Call Mind or some nonsense. So Earthquake against Espatra. Okay, Earthquake does do a sizable chunk. So I think we'll just go for that. As they go for that. So they've already Terastallized into a Fairy type. And that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna Ice Shard now. Well, actually, no, I should just keep Earthquaking. Because they're gonna roost spam, yeah. We Earthquake here because we don't want them to roost. I think that with the Life Orb... okay. Well, I mean, we only have one play. We only have one play at this point. We go Lucario, we Terastallize, we go for Extreme Speed. If we live, we live. If we die... If it lives, it lives. If it dies, it dies. Okay, that's where the Choice Band would be better. So we lose to Espatra. I wonder if the Choice Banded Lucario would be better. I mean, no. No, we saw in the first game that it did a lot of work, right? But in that game, it just showed that it wasn't quite strong enough to kill. Okay, they got a Primeape of their own, as well as Sticky Web, Masquerain. Although I wonder how much you really want to set up Sticky Web when I have my own Primeape. That's one of those times where Defiant is actually really good. I'm going to lead off with a Donphan. Okay. Then I'm going to just go for knockoff here. They have a couple of Defiant users on their team. Sort of interesting. I don't know why they've doubled down on that quite so hard. Okay, no, they could have like Ice Beam or something, I'm not sure what. I'll just Ice Shard though, because that'll do more damage. And they're actually Quiver Dance as well. Very interesting. I don't think that you should run a Quiver Dance Masquerain, but I mean, I guess if you've got Masquerain, you might as well use it. And they actually used their Bug Terastallization right off the rip, which I don't really agree with. Sure, you got Sticky Web, this is true. And you were able to weaken my Donphan a lot, which really helps out the Primeape to some extent, and the Bisharp a lot. And Scyther, I suppose? Not really Scyther so much, because I don't really touch Scyther that well. And I guess it helps Tink a ton. So, you know, Donphan is a problem, I suppose. But what I don't understand is... I'll just stealth rock here. I don't feel the need to deal with Primeape, particularly. Now I'm going to go into my Bramblegast. And I will Rapid Spin here. I'm Focus Sash, so they can't kill me. And then I will, now that I well, I actually don't know if I outspeed. I'm just going to set up a Spike. They may kill me, they may not kill me, I don't know. Okay. So now we go into Rotom Wash, and we Will-O-Wisp it. There could be Rest, technically. But it's really hard to fit Rest and all the other moves on it at the same time, I think. Okay. Now I go into Dawn Fan of my own. And just sack it. Or maybe not, actually. I'll go back into my Rotom here. And we'll just Hydro Pump it now. Okay, Drain Punch. That's fair enough. Hydro Pump again. I want to get off some damage on it. So now the thing here is I Endure with Armarouge. If they go for the Ghost move, which is my hope, then I will get my Weakness Policy off. Yeah, there we go. So I Endure the hit. Now I'm faster. Now I have my Weakness Policy. And I have to click Armor Cannon here. Fortunately, because they used their thing. Oh, what? You went Bisharp. That was a bad idea. Because they used the Terastallization on their Masquerain, which was a very low value move to go for, they can't turn into a water type, which otherwise would have been a major concern. And since I'm Psyshock, specifically in case I run into Blissey or something, that actually would have been really bad in that situation. I understand they wanted to outplay the Sucker Punch or whatever, but funnily enough, it actually was disadvantageous for me to click my Psychic move there, so I was just going to click the Fire move. Okay. Fire move again. Don't care if you go Noivern. This is 120 base power, close combat, special attack. Alright, so this may be our first Armarouge sweep, which I will definitely take. This was such a cool set I saw. This Endure tech is really nice. It could be Quick Attack on Scyther, but I feel like you would have gone into it before. Also, run Heavy Duty Boots on your Scyther. I don't know why they're not running Heavy Duty Boots. Cool. We got the sweep. Okay, let's find another game. Ooh, scary. Okay, we got a Spatra right off the bat. I noticed that. Gotta respect it. Got Klefki as well, which is going to be a bit annoying. I'm gonna lead off with the Rotom, I think is the correct play here. And I can just click the Will-O-Wisp on whatever wants to come out. And if you're Focus Sash, then that means you can't get the Endeavor on me next turn, yeah. Interestingly there, it showed that Endeavor didn't affect Rotom Wash. The reason for that is because I guess it had more HP than me still. So that's sort of funny. Just gonna toss this up. I can't really touch Rotom because of Prankster. Okay. Hydro Pump again. Considering my options here. Okay. Let's Shadow Sneak, I think. Yeah, that'll break the substitute at least. And now what we've got to do is present a clear and present danger to this Patra for a couple more turns. So I think Donphan does that adequately. Actually, no, this is the time where we terrestrialize. There's no way you don't stored power me, right? There's no way you don't stored power. So here's where we terrestrialize Dark, and we kill this Patra. Good. That worked. That's why we had Dark Donphan. Now the Azumarill can come out and do its thing. That'll be sad. But, well, you belly drummed in front of me. Wasn't expecting that. I was just Volt Switch now. And, what don't I need? I need Armarouge, I think. Primeape is also decent. Donphan at this point is a dark type, which I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm going to sack Donphan. Okay. Now I go Rotom again. Definitely needs to still keep you around. I'm sure they're just going to Aqua Jet here. As they terrestrialize into a water type, but we do have enough bulk to live that hit. So at this point, I'm going to go into the Lucario. That'll keep out the Avalugg and the Weavile. They're definitely going to go Klefki here. Oh. Or not. Okay. Meteor Mash. First, I guess. Just to get off a hit. And then I can go Primeape. Alright, now I've broken their sturdy. Klefki can come out and they can Thunder Wave me or do whatever nonsense they want to do. I'll just Drain Punch here. Because if I can kill them before they do too much nonsense, that'd be great. And by too much nonsense, I mean their last move is probably Dazzling Gleam. Okay. So actually, at this point, they've switched out without attacking me. So I don't know what they mean to do here. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they beat me 1v1. As long as I don't get paralyzed. Or maybe they do, actually. Okay. Now we go for Armor Cannon. I wonder if this is Banded Weavile. It'd be nice if it were Banded Weavile. Uh-huh. I'll just end it. Okay, yeah. That's what their plan is. Get all the pairs. That's how you do it. That's how you win. So Thunder Wave actually was a better play, technically, just because now they would outspeed me. But they actually went for Icicle Crash, which I think was a big misplay. Because now, technically... Oh, whoa. What was my speed there? Are they Choice Scarfed? I wonder if they're Choice Scarfed Weavile. They could have missed technically there. So I was paralyzed. 273 after the first weak armor took me back up to my main stat. Then I would have gotten a +3. I wonder if maybe I just didn't outspeed him even after +2. Let's see, instant replay. Can I view my speed at that point in time? No, it doesn't show. That's unfortunate. So I don't know why I did not speed there. Maybe somebody can let me know in the comments why I didn't outspeed there. They may have been scarfed, in which case there's nothing I could do about that. No, there was something I could have done about that. If I had known they were going to go for Icicle Crash and not for Throat Chop, then I should have just Armor Cannoned. But how was I supposed to know that? Okay, another Ice Patra. Broken. What is Defog on your team? Nothing, as far as I know. I'm going to lead off with Bramblegast. As I'm going to lead up a Spike. And now I'm going to go Donphan, actually. Because if I can avoid a Thunder Wave, I'll take it. Any day. And I can set up my Stealth Rock as well. They may go hardest Patra here, or they may go into Azumarill. I think Azumarill is probably the more likely option, if I just had to guess. So looking at their team, I need to keep Donphan around. For one, the Espatra, as we saw earlier, does help a lot against that. Two, the Palmot. Palmot is an annoying Pokemon with the Revelation Dance. I don't know if Revelation Dance is broken yet, but it's definitely annoying. And the Graphite is an interesting prankster Pokemon. Okay, gonna knock off here. I'll just Earthquake. Actually come in on that for the Azumarill. So at this point, they can no longer Belly Drum, but it also looks like they are not a Belly Drum Pokemon. They're probably Choice Banded. So I will Volt Switch now. They can go into that, sure, why not? And at this point, what's the play? Let's check Lucario damage. Lucario, are your Sword Stance versus Hydreigon. Let's say it's all your Nasty Plot and become normal type. Extreme Speed does not kill. Only close combat does. Okay. But outside of this, I don't really know what Lucario would do too much for me. So the Earth Power, which if they're choiced in some form or fashion, gives me the Rapid Spin, because I'll resist the Earth Power, right? Now normally, of course, this is a Dark type. Why am I coming in on you? But I want to get off the spikes off the field if I can. If they go Klefki, they will take hazards themselves, and they'll take the Rapid Spin. So then they can't get them back up, which will be really good. Okay, at this point, just Power Whip you. Go for Toxic. It's not really going to do anything. I don't really need my Bramblegast at all. I'm not too concerned about that. And at this point, I will just go for another Spike. Get that on the field. As I can now go into my Primeape. And I'm going to bulk up. I think you probably sack Klefki here. I think Klefki dies. Should die. Because I could use Drain Punch here. You could also sack Graphite. You have two mons that die to hazards. I've got too many up. Because you can always come back in later to get off the Draco Meteor, is what I'm thinking. But by that rationale, you could say maybe you should just then click the Drain Punch here instead of predicting him to switch. But what I don't want is for them to go into Palmot. Oh, they actually did live. Oh. Okay, they get the Reflect up. I don't want them to be able to go and set up something, right? So the Ghost Patra here. We just have to start Rage Fisting. And our Donphan is at 100%. Okay, they click Protect. Sword Power, sure. Alright. Donphan can come out and just click Earthquake. I don't need to Terrastalize here. And should I Terrastalize is the other question. Should I Terrastalize? I think Terrastalizing is a bad idea from the sense of dealing with Palmot later on, but from the sense of dealing with this, I think it's better. However, that being said, it looks like I messed up because they're fighting type, not fairy type. I should have just earthquaked. I don't know what I was thinking there. Should have just earthquaked. Yeah. So then I gotta go Armarouge, and I don't think I live this sword power. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I resist it or not. Okay, yeah. I should have just earthquaked. I don't know why I didn't earthquake. That was a choke on my part. Spidops. Great. Let's go Lucario here. Just Meteor Mash. Probably not the strongest play, given that they have a Gengar in the back. But we just get it off the field. And now we are scary enough that probably they'll have to go Gengar. They don't actually decide to go Gengar at all. They decide to go Glade. Which I'm just going to Meteor Mash you as well. They turn into a Psychic and they die. Glade does not have good Fizz Def. They should not have done that. Also, why did you Terastallize into a Psychic type? What value did that get you? I don't know. Now, if I had Bullet Punch here, that'd be really good. But I don't know which move out of this that you drop. So we'll just have to take that. I'm going to sack my Primeape here. It doesn't do anything in this battle. Let's actually go for Focus Blast. So now it's going to do something in this battle. Gengar dies. I did not expect that. Who expected that? Did anybody expect that? I know I didn't expect that. That was 150 base power coming off a +2 attack Primeape. What in the world is going on? The Aqua Jet. If I had a Terastallize, they would have died. But, you know, we're not going to play like that. All right, we'll go into Brambleghast now. We're going to go for Rapid Spin. We got rid of their Spin Blocker. And now I can actually lay up a couple of spikes. And by a couple of spikes, I mean one spike. And I'll just Shadow Sneak here for some chip. I don't need this for anything else. Okay. Now we go into Rotom, I think, and we Volt Switch. And now I go into my Lucario. And I just Extreme Speed here. Extreme Speed isn't something you want to switch into, regardless of who you are. Apparently they do want to switch into this, so I'm just going to Extreme Speed again. They could have First Impression, technically. This is Leftovers Haxorus, which is interesting. If they do have First Impression, that'd be sad, but I forget. Is First Impression 2 or 3 priority? In any case, they die. Cool. I want to keep this around. I'm going to... Well, actually, do I want to keep this around? I don't know if I want to keep this around. Let's just sack it. I think we'll be fine. Got enough priority. That, and I can just go Rotom here. And Volt Switch. Volt Switch into Ice Shard wins the game. We go Donphan. So the Spidops, the Sticky Web doesn't seem to really be doing too much for my opponents in this video. So I'm not convinced of the wisdom of bringing Sticky Web. I am convinced of the wisdom of bringing Espatra, though. Espatra is just broken. It needs to go as soon as possible. S'il vous plaît. Here's that Blissey that I have Psyshock for. So I'm glad that I have Psyshock in this battle. Alright, let's get up some hazards here. As they lead off with the Tauros. So this is a bad lead matchup for us. Let's just go into Rotom here. We go for Will-O-Wisp. So it is a bulky one. We'll Volt Switch out here. They have a Blissey they can safely switch into. Doesn't care about any move I can go for. We don't even have Pain Split to threaten them. Interesting. Go Armarouge here. So go for Body Press. Alright, I can just click Psyshock now. As they go Blissey. And that does a decent chunk. At this point, I'll go Lucario. They could have Thunder Wave. That would be annoying. But, yeah. And at this point, they have no fighting resists whatsoever. So I'll just Extreme Speed now. I don't know, they're probably not speedy, but there's no reason not to go for Extreme Speed. It's not like I'm bluffing Choice Band or anything, right? Okay. Now Braviary comes out. I am actually forced to stay in, I think, here, because Braviary is so strong. And my opponent, unfortunately for them, they are the Hone Claw set and they just lose there. Yeah, they had no fighting resist on this team. No, not the strongest team. But we did see, though, this bulky Tauros is actually pretty strong, because this is Life Orb plus Combat Lucario. And a critical hit only did 68% to it. The critical hit ignores the Intimidate drop. That's actually really insane to me that did that little to a Tauros. Oh boy, another Expatra. Expatra plus Bronzong plus a couple other nonsense Pokemon. Lead off with Donphan here. Donphan is not really good in this particular situation, I can tell you that much. But if I had lit off with a Bramblegast, what would you have done then? I'm not really sure. I'm gonna go into Bramblegast now. They can't Scald Burn me. I'll let up a Spike. They obviously are disadvantaged because of the type matchup. This may make Talonflame want to defog. I think Talonflame gets defog. In any case, I have a safe switch into this in Rotom Wash. And at this point, I need to double, but I can't really double. So I'm just going to Dark Pulse here. I think that's the correct play there. And then I will go for another... I'll Rapid Spin first. Okay. Power Whip then. Actually lose their Slowking. What? Why? Okay, so the first turn, my opponent should have gone Talonflame. The second turn, my opponent should have gone Talonflame. I don't understand that. Okay, I must have just lost enough to Expatra that I have a lower GXC or something. Yeah, Expatra is a super major problem. I'm going to keep complaining about it until it gets banned, because you don't have to invest any special attack. I was actually running some calcs before this. Here's the Lucario. I wanted to make sure my Lucario could do stuff. And I was trying to see if it would kill with Extreme Speed. So I was running some calcs. So you see Extreme Speed here. Life Orb, +1. Okay, if this Expatra is fully offensive, has no HP, no defense investment, +1, Life Orb, Extreme Speed is a kill. If it's not +1, then it still does 69% minimum. Like, that's really strong, right? But and if let's go to Adamant and let's go Choice Band, right? Because these are the kinds of calcs you got to decide: is it worth running Choice Band? Is it worth running Adamant? That kind of stuff. So if it had been worth it, I would have run Adamant. So if I had saw Choice Band, Extreme Speed is 87 to 103%. After a spike, let's see, one spike up, we can see we have a 94% chance to OHKO this Patra. That right there says to me, hey, you gotta run the Extreme Speed Choice Band Adamant set, because that'll save you from his Patra. That's a good idea. Of course, there were a lot of reflex and stuff, and I don't know what to do about that. But this is something to take note of. But you never run this. You get to run all of your stuff into defense and HP, because you get a speed boost, you have Protect, you have Roost, you have Calm Mind. You don't need anything else on Expatra. And then all of a sudden, just because of that investment, we didn't even run a Bold Nature. Let's put a Bold Nature on it too, just for kicks and giggles. Now I'm doing 50% with an Adamant Choice Banded and Terastallized Lucario. Expatra takes no damage from really strong hits. Insane, insane, insane. So really want to see this bird go. At the beginning of the generation, I wasn't sure what it was supposed to do, but now seeing what it can do, and especially when it's just as mindless as set up screen, set up Expatra, win. And with the fewer toxic Pokemon in this generation, and most of those being poison types, you can't bring it in on Espatra. And, oh yeah, let's look at this calc. So this is 0 investment, +1 special attack, and we're going to do stored power, right? Stored power. You can see with just 1 +1 special attack, so after 1 Calm Mind boost, and just magically, this is the only boost you got, we're doing that much. You give it a special defense boost from the Calm Mind. Now this is just a Calm Mind. It already does against Lucario. It OHKOs it, and then if that's right, because it's not 100%. What's the chance? It's a 56% chance to OHKO, and then after the +1 to speed, now it's guaranteed OHKO. So that was just 1 turn of coming in. As soon as I have my speed boost, my +1, you die. So Lucario cannot come. If I come in, like if I see Espatra come in, Lucario immediately switches in because I need to get the extreme speed off. Well, I have to be able to kill it with extreme speed, otherwise it immediately dies to stored power. So yeah, obviously in this you could say, well, that you're just looking at this one matchup, and that's true, that's fair. It does have not the greatest physical bulk technically, but also I completely dumped into that, and there's not really any one Pokemon that can deal with it. What would you need? You need a dark type to ignore stored power. So like Skuntank? Maybe Skuntank is what we all need to be running. Assault Vest Skuntank with a Poison Fang or something. I don't know. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe the Poison Fang part obviously is not. But Skuntank should be the mon to run against Espatra. There we go. That's the sign of a healthy balanced metagame, that we have to like search the dregs of the tier list just to get something to deal with this threat. Alright, that's enough of me complaining about Espatra. I'll catch you guys next time.